Hello and welcome to today's complimentary webinar, which is brought to you in partnership with RingCentral, Auscontact's national silver sponsor, and it's entitled Serving Customers from Home Without Missing a Beat. Today's webinar will run for approximately 60 minutes, and during that time, with the help of today's special guest, Briana Lassig, Senior Product Manager, Marketing Manager, RingCentral, we hope to have you totally immersed in the conversation, as well as spark your interest. And of course, there will be a Q&A at the end of the session. I'm Fiona Keogh, CEO of Auscontact and your moderator for today. So while we're waiting for everyone to join us, let's use the time wisely to quickly run through some housekeeping with you. Remember that it is important to interact with us today to maximise the benefit, and as you know, there's no need to take too many notes because we'll be providing you with the slides and recording of the webinar. To interact with us, please use the Q&A tab on the control panel. You can ask questions or make comments for Bri or myself from time to time. Remember, we're going to have a full Q&A session at the end of the webinar, so please type your questions as you go along, just in case you forget to ask them. I know that many of you are already familiar with asking questions, but let's try out the Q&A pane on the control panel now, just in case you haven't done this before. And the question that I'm going to ask you for today is, I think, very topical. Do you have plans in place to move back to your office now that Scott Morrison has announced the 3 stages of COVID-safe Australia? What do you think? I can tell you, Auscontact are actually going to be staying at home a little bit longer, and Jess is looking at me and going, oh, thanks for telling me. You hadn't told me that before, but we haven't had a team meeting yet to know that. Do RingCentral have anything in situ at the moment, Bri, that you know of?
You know, at this moment, we're just waiting until we hear for further news. We're staying at home until further notice, and enjoying these, very, very productive days.
Yeah, I think they are very productive. Well, we've had one person tell us that they've partially got plans, I guess, given that the announcement was only made on Friday, sort of mid-afternoon, and then each of the state premiers in Australia have their own plans in place, and they're slowly but surely announcing them. It's almost like it's being drip-fed to us, that we do know that some people have not got defined plans at the moment. Oh, yes, we've got people will be back in June with safety measures. Some saying their team are going to continue with a mix of working remotely and in the office, just waiting on sign-off. And there are some people that have agents that have stayed in the centre. Okay, so it looks like people actually know what they're doing. So just before we move on, if you're listening through your headphones or through a speaker and experience any issues with your internet connection, please note that on the control panel you can click to switch to the telephone, and the toll-free number for your country and access code will appear. Oh, we have some naughty people on this webinar. I can tell we're not going to get some sensible stuff. Some people said sausages is the answer to that question. Who knows? Or you can raise your virtual hand and someone from the Auscontact team will rush to your aid. So with that, I'm so thrilled to welcome a new voice to the Auscontact family, Briana Lassig, Product Marketing at RingCentral. So Bri, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, because we haven't met you before, even though it's a virtual meet and greet.
Oh yeah, thanks for the warm welcome, Fiona. Hi to everyone on the line, even the naughty ones. It's great to be with you all virtually. My name is Briana Lassig. I'm from the RingCentral Contact Center team. A little bit about me, as you might tell from my accent, I'm joining you from the US today. I'm a California native, and I've been spending a lot of my time baking banana bread and trying new pie recipes when I'm not working. So yeah, I'm here today to cover, like Fiona mentioned, a very timely topic. Many of us are working from home during this crisis and need to continue to communicate with our existing customers, right? So it's unclear how all of this is going to end up across the world, but what we can say for sure is that this coronavirus pandemic has disrupted life and some of our human interactions in more ways than one. So in addition to rearranging how we view this social cohesion and how the virus might redefine how brands are interacting with customers, what we do now is likely to have repercussions for a long time. And so I'm here to talk to you all about that. Remote work has skyrocketed in popularity over the last several years. It was once a fringe idea, but now it's seen as an alternative, a viable alternative to old office-based models of work that are becoming more outdated. You can see from the metrics on this screen, they're from 2019. So more and more people have been working from home, almost demand to have that option. I'm curious, on average, how many days a week do you guys work from home before COVID? I'd love to launch a poll question. So,
Brian, while everyone's answering, why don't you tell us, other than baking, how has working at home been for you?
It's been okay. I've worked from home before when I've had doctor's appointments or slept in too late before a full day of meetings, but I've never done it consistently for months at a time. So, it requires a whole new level of focus and scheduling for me. So, where it was first a little bit of a struggle, I've seen now that I've set up a consistent routine to, have lunch at a certain hour, go take a walk at a certain time, I've been a lot more productive, not only at work, but, my personal life as well, getting a lot done at home.
Yeah, I must admit, I've actually started baking as well, and my family are a little bit confused because they actually don't know this person who spends time in the kitchen. So, because I don't cook as a rule. So I think what we'll do now is we will close the poll and just see what the answers have been. Wow. So 71% of the people on this webinar hadn't worked at home prior to COVID-19. Wow.
Wow. That actually, that resonates with me. I think predictions only show that the growth of remote work is going to continue after this. So starting from a point where not many people were working from home before, COVID-19 is only going to accelerate these changes. Contact centers actually are no strangers to remote work. About 59% of contact centers around the world before were allowing their staff to work at home occasionally pre-COVID-19. And once restrictions are lifted, studies are showing that almost 70% of those businesses will continue to allow agents to work from home in some capacity. So maybe these poll results will flip if we do this in a couple weeks again. Moving on, one of the main challenges in maintaining a virtual call center, and maybe some of the reason that some of you haven't worked from home in the past, is that most support teams are really not prepared to work from home, right? Without a cloud-based contact center solution, you face issues with siloed tools, data, and even teams. You can experience shadow IT causing security threats, and it's really difficult to integrate with basic business intelligence tools to continue servicing customers the way that they expect. The fact of the matter is that companies really do need to rapidly respond to the current situation and adapt to the needs of remote agents. But the main problem is only 30% of business leaders feel their organization is well prepared for this rise in remote work. So some contact centers will require that agents head back to the offices, when shelter in place lifts, because technologies just don't work as well as they expected. And in some cases, it's due to poor internet connectivity or because network infrastructure is not able to deliver the needed capacity, right? So at this point, you just have to ask yourself, what's your plan for business continuity? How do you quickly deploy a cloud-based contact center solution that will allow you to seamlessly continue to service your customers with agents working from home? Because the truth is that even though restrictions are beginning to lessen, working from home is a necessity today and will probably continue to be even more important in the future. So getting into it, you know, businesses today have the advantage of choosing from a whole bunch of technologies that can help them move closer to their goals. But while there's a lot of options, it can also be really confusing. So in day-to-day business, you have to think about what will the benefit and return on investment really look like with your agents working from home. And maybe more importantly, how will having agents work from home impact the customer experience? The flexibility that cloud-based contact centers provide can actually unite agents from around the globe while you're able to reach customers virtually anywhere with more agility and fewer roadblocks. For example, a study presented in the Harvard Business Review actually showed that remote workers accomplish almost a full additional days of work per week when compared to on-site employees. And another study found that 45% of remote employees can get more done in less time, and they're less distracted and more productive than they would be in the office. So leaving clunky hardware behind to work in the cloud definitely gives your business a sense of freedom, and having the right cloud contact center solution can help agents take advantage of that new agility. It can help you, exceed expectations across teams and time zones and channels even, standardizing the way that agents are able to connect with customers through customizable and data-driven scripts and coaching features. That way, your business can ensure no matter who the customer reaches on the other end, what agent they're talking to, or what channel they're communicating across, engagements are consistent and positive. Not to mention the cost savings that comes with remote work. Call centers allocate usually around 70% of their budget to operating costs on resource-related expenses. But with a work-from-home model, that means you no longer have to pay rent or utilities, on-premise hardware, furniture, maintenance. The list can go on, really. A 500-agent contact center, for example, can save over $2 million in real estate costs each year just by allowing agents to work from home. And Frost & Sullivan research actually noted that on-site agents cost the company $31 an hour compared to an average of $21 an hour for an at-home agent. So with cloud contact center technology in place, businesses don't really have to scramble to figure out hardware logistics as their needs grow. And if you have limited IT support when working from home, really you just need a secure internet access to be able to work from the web. And that means fewer roadblocks, stopping teams from keeping up with customer demands and maintaining long-term satisfaction. Another point I bring up is that, customers are more apt today to move on to competitors than ever if they don't get what they expect. And they expect consistent, high-quality experiences across all of the channels that they use to engage. Whether it's live chat, Facebook Messenger, something else, messaging has become one of the preferred methods of communication for many people. In fact, Gartner actually predicts that by 2020, 72% of customer interactions will involve emerging technologies such as messaging, mobile apps, and chatbots, and that phone conversations are merely going to make up 12% of customer service interactions. So maybe it's time to think about going beyond voice-based support and opening up digital channels for customers to reach your business. You could deploy a chatbot or an AI program to simulate human-like conversations with customers through those apps, websites, social media, and even over the phone. Chatbots can be trained to handle a range of tasks and help with routine queries like logging in issues, changing of address, and difficulty with payments. And that's a really effective way to automate your customer service. Chatbots don't need to sleep, and they don't need to take a break to handle high volumes of requests with ease. And that way, your customers can initiate conversations at any time. no matter where they are in the world, on a Sunday morning, and maybe pick up where they left off several weeks later in a different time zone. Forrester research estimated that the average cost of a customer service phone call is between $6 and $25, which I realize is quite a range, but averages around $20 per interaction, and can cost even more when issues are complex. These figures can go up if procedures aren't optimized and if customers repeatedly call for the same question or calls get routed multiple times. But fortunately, with digital channels, for example, a live chat session can cost between $1 and $5, while agents are handling multiple inquiries. So whether it's through Facebook, web chat, SMS, some other channel, a growing number of customers are preferring text-based communication. And so allowing customers to engage with your support team through multiple channels, both voice and digital, will lead to major benefits. You'll delight customers with the convenience and choice of having multi-channel support, and you can save time and money and a lot of frustration for agents by deflecting calls onto those channels so that they can take the more complex issues over the phone. I know with a major concern with working from home right now is that supervisors can't walk the floor and check in on their teams, but you can still maintain workplace visibility. Just by checking in with your call center agents at the start and the end of each shift, you can avoid miscommunications and more easily track their performance. Like typical performance management, remote management is based on the data and the metrics that you gain from your call center software. So if you see a dip in customer satisfaction, for example, you can use relevant information to identify your call center strengths and weaknesses. When evaluating your call center and your teams, the ability to view agent activity and call data is invaluable. You can use call logs to determine the number of calls they take and the length of each interaction. And by using this information, you can see how their performance measures against your standards. So if you see a particular area that needs improvement for an agent, you can focus your training efforts on improving agent optimization. Your contact center agents are on the front line of your customer service, so their feedback is invaluable. Think about asking agents about your policies and procedures to learn what is and isn't working for them. Seeking feedback from remote agents is especially important because employees may feel like they have less opportunity and freedom to make suggestions if they're not with you in person. Measuring agent satisfaction will help you to optimize your internal processes and your customer support. So constantly looking for ways to improve your training program, meetings, and your own management. You can encourage conversations between agents and supervisors and promote positive team collaboration. The more you communicate with your team, the better your call center will run, and the more trust you'll be able to develop in those agents while they work from home. Few resources are more important than collaboration tools for remote staff. Your agents might be separated by hundreds or even thousands of miles or kilometers, and they rely on the tools you provide them for team collaboration. They won't be able to provide exceptional service if they have to keep switching between various systems and interfaces when dealing with customers. Complex on-premise contact center systems are ill-suited for these challenges today. Companies need flexible solutions that will fit the way that people communicate and work today. Otherwise, U.S. businesses at least, will continue to lose around $60 billion every year due to poor customer service. And that's a lot of money lost. That's a lot of money that could easily be recovered just by being able to collaborate across the company. So the answer lies in, again, cloud-based platforms, but integrating your voice, text, email, social media, video conferencing, team collaboration, and other features into a unified communication solution that works well with your contact center solution. This technology will keep your work from home agents connected to their peers and will help to enable them to be highly productive when helping customers. If they have tools like team messaging, they can improve collaboration through file sharing, task tracking, screen sharing, calendar syncing, and all integrated into a single platform. This makes teams more productive and makes them feel more connected to each other. They'll be able to collaborate when a customer calls and has a complicated issue. If an agent is able to reach out to someone in a different department and ask for their assistance while they have the customer on the line, gathering some of the basic data that they need to resolve the query, they can get this information from an expert across the company and provide that to the customer in a fast, efficient manner that solves their problem the first time around. Because a single employee can't possibly have all of the answers that a customer needs, right? We expect a lot of our agents, they're the ones interfacing with our customers, but they're not the single source of truth, right? They need to be able to engage with experts in other departments and regions and tap into those internal resources in real time to answer the toughest questions and provide customers with exceptional support. The final benefit of at-home agents is that your labor pool widens beyond the geographic constraints of an office. It allows you to find top talent with unique skill sets. It enables you to find applicants that are better educated and more responsible and productive. They might have unique cultural skills or live across the globe. And that really liberates the recruiting process and allows you to be more selective when you're hiring employees. If employees are spread across the country, you can save money on salaries and benefits based on cost of living in those areas. And having a wider selection of employees also ensures that you're choosing the right individuals for the job, not just the ones that are available. You might be able to access a resource across the country with a higher level of education, at a lower cost than you would, if you hired only from a local source. So with a strong team of employees, you can get more done, you can improve your brand, and your call center employees can provide the best possible feedback and information to customers, regardless of where they're located. And when you're providing them with the right tools to service customers, they're able to do this from any location and consistently provide a level of customer service. I want to talk through one of our customers that RingCentral has. Technology One is headquartered in Brisbane. I hope I said that correctly. They use RingCentral's complete cloud solution to support the company's 14 international offices across 6 countries, and they have 1,200 team members worldwide. They use RingCentral in both their office and their contact center environments. So they're using team messaging and video conferencing to be able to communicate internally and do the file sharing, task assignment stuff that I was talking about earlier, but they're also using our contact center solutions for intelligent IVR, to manage customer requests and queries. So because they used RingCentral, when they were ordered to move to home, Technology One was able to move their entire workforce, including their contact center agents, to a home environment without any disruption. And the integration that they have with Salesforce is helping to make their agents more productive and efficient by automatically logging calls directly into the company's Salesforce environment. And it gives the team more analytics and more visibility into call traffic patterns, agent performance, and other really important metrics that help the team make better informed decisions about staffing and resource allocation. And they actually saw a 50% improvement in the number of calls that reached the appropriate customer service agent without redirection. So you can see that, you know, with the right technology and the right tools for your agents, you can manage them remotely and still maintain a level of productivity that you expect to see from your everyday business. I think I ran very fast with this, so I apologize, but this is the end of my presentation and we're ready for questions now.
Thanks, Bri. And look, don't apologise for running quickly. We've got some great questions that have come through. And the first question is kind of an odd one, but anyway. Do RingCentral have offices in Australia?
Yes, we do. We have, let me grab those. Yes, so we have offices in Melbourne and Sydney. We've been operating in the US for over 17 years and 4 years in the UK and Europe and Australia for 2. So we've been working locally with more than 160 business partners and have 400,000 customers globally.
Right, thank you. So obviously a long heritage, you know, being around for 17 years and having the global footprint that you have. You talked about some of the benefits of having work from home agents, but I'm just wondering if you would be happy to share what some best practices are for managing remote support teams.
Definitely. Yeah, so I think one of the most important things as we're all feeling a little disconnected, a little isolated, is just to make sure that you're connecting with people. And we have tools to do that, right? We're talking on the phone right now. If I wanted, we might have video on, but you know, hold video conferences for coffee breaks or shared lunches. I know that at RingCentral, we have a weekly happy hour with our entire marketing team in the US, which is several hundred people. So, you know, sometimes those are a little silly, but we have smaller team calls that we like to have just to maintain relationships, foster friendships across the team. That really helps to create a positive work environment. You know, when you're messaging your team about, you know, send them a picture of your dog, what a silly thing that they're doing today, you really feel connected with each other. So that's the number one thing I would say for managing support remote teams, is just to make sure that everyone feels like they have a voice and that they're all being heard and connecting, but then also, you know, making sure that they have those right tools so that they're not getting frustrated by the job. Being a call center agent or on the support team, it's not an easy job. People typically are waiting until they're upset to call in about something, or, you know, they're trying to get an answer to a question that they can't figure out themselves. That can be frustrating. Being on the receiving end of that is not easy either. So making sure that you have happy agents with a good work-life balance, that have the tools they need to be able to do their job, the information and the access that they need to be able to talk to their colleagues and provide customers with the responses that they need. I think that's really the ultimate goal, is just to be able to provide them with the tools that they need, and that'll help to manage them better.
Absolutely. Look, during the presentation, Bri, you were kind enough to share some of the screens for supervising and managing remotely, which is incredibly important for leaders. But we're just wondering whether the agents can actually access their own performance data.
That's a good question. I think we have Francis on the line who might be able to help me answer that. I'm not entirely sure. I believe they have access to specific dashboards depending on what supervisors give to them. Francis, could you help me answer that a bit?
Yes, Brie, no problem. And the answer on that is yes, they can. So yeah, each of the users or agents will have like a sort of dialer used for the work entirely, and from there will be part of it a button to look at their own performance reports.
Fantastic. And look, that's super important because all organisations employ people that are, trusted people and want to manage their time and their productivity. And it's a very handy thing to be able to access their own data. Francis, this might be another one for you because it's a bit of a technical question. It's from Veronica. And she's interested in risk management strategies for protecting customer data in a work from home environment, especially if you're dealing with personal data. They're finding that it's one of the biggest barriers to implementing work from home more broadly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that question.
It's just a question around what risk management strategies you would recommend or you having that RingCentral would be able to support for protecting customer data in a working from home environment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, first, RingCentral has like security in place on all of our servers. So for any risk management, we prioritize on that as well. So we have put in different protocols. We partnered with other different companies, such as AWS as well, in placing those securities and making sure that no breach will be made if ever.
Fantastic. Oh, sorry.
Quickly, I'd also add to that if you're a remote agent and you're able to access the RingCentral contact center through your browser, then you should, and you have a secure internet connection, then you should be able to maintain that security while working from home.
Perfect. We have another question. This one is from Malcolm, whose team is currently working at home, but there are obviously plans to come back into the office. His question is, does RingCentral have a unified team collaboration tool integrated into the same platform? They're using Skype for Business to great effect whilst working from home, but it's standalone, and their intention is to continue using it when they return to the office. Francis,
yes,
it's probably one for you or one for you, Brie.
Yeah, I'll take this first and then maybe pass it over to Francis. We do have, so if you're asking if we have a unified communication tool, yes, we do. We have RingCentral Office. It's an all-in-one platform for video, team messaging, and phone within your business for, back-end business. We also, we have the separate RingCentral contact center, which runs on the RingCentral UC network. So the two are not unified, the contact center product with the team messaging, but they do connect with each other and they're sitting on the same platform.
Right. Francis, did you want to add anything? Nope, I guess not. Okay, there's another question. And this question is quite a broad one. What is RingCentral doing for customers to enable work from home contact center agents?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like I just talked about, we have a bunch of tools and technology that can help people do their jobs better. And during this difficult time, RingCentral sees it as our duty to offer those solutions to customers who need it the most. So actually, for everyone on the line, for the next month and a half, new customers who have been impacted by COVID-19 crisis can actually take advantage of RingCentral's customer engagement solution free of charge. The package includes a 90-day free seat license, and we have you up and running on the platform within 48 hours. We do also have a similar offer for our unified communication tool. So you can get up and running on that very, very fast. And if necessary, I can send out some links for more information after, with the call completes.
I'm sure that would be of great interest to all of the attendees on the webinar, Brian. That's a great offer that you've shared with the attendees. Malcolm, I think, has just made a statement. I will read it. He said he loves the tangible benefits that you outlined in working from home. Sick leave dropped from 11 days in February before working from home to 5 in March to 2 in April while staff were working from home. Some staff called in sick but then felt better after a couple of hours and were then able to jump onto the queue. No need to jump on a bus and drive to the office. Bree, I'm guessing that you would be able to share some similar experiences that you're seeing globally?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I think I mentioned earlier in the call, but work from home agents are much more productive than agents who work in the office. They can get almost a full day's work completed in a work week, an additional day's work completed in a week than an in-office agent might. And so, agents are people too. We're humans, all of us. Things come up, and having to be on call for specific hours is really difficult if you're dealing with a sick child at home or you need to take your dog to the vet. So life happens, and I think it's really important to maintain a level of flexibility. And when you have a cloud contact center solution, you can do shift swapping. You can communicate over team messaging with your coworkers and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to come in. Can somebody cover me for this amount of time? I think having those real life, flexibility is super important. And I think this situation right now is only proving that to us. So, I love it that Malcolm, that you're seeing fewer sick days called in. It sounds like your staff is being much more productive and they're able to live their lives and also get work done. So, managing that and maintaining the same level of KPIs as you did from before working from home, that's such great news.
Bree, there's another question around the offer that you've made, which is getting set up work from home within 48 hours. What are you seeing as the biggest hurdle to making this happen? And maybe that can help our audience know what they need to navigate.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest hurdles in managing or getting your call center remote is that you can't afford to have any downtime. You can't, turn off services for a couple of days or be out of reach or have long hold times while you're trying to move remote, right? So making sure that you're maintaining business continuity throughout that process is super important, and having a cloud contact center is, the best way to manage that. So I think our offer, getting up and running in 48 hours, is probably the most appealing piece of that, because it is one of the bigger hurdles. Moving from on-prem to a cloud-based solution is not a simple task. It's highly involved, lots of IT required maybe at initial setup, but then once you get off and running, it's scalable, it's agile, it's flexible, and it's totally worth it.
Fantastic. Well, there's no other questions. So with that, Bree, do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to make?
Just, thank you so much for having me on today. This was a great conversation, really great questions that you guys asked. We're all in this together. We're all struggling through this together. So anything that RingCentral can do to help with any of your business challenges, we're here for you. We're interested in learning more about what people are going through right now. So good luck to everybody. And, this is such a strange time to be living in, but we're all in it together.
Thanks, Bree. And thank you so much for your very thorough discussion today around RingCentral, and especially the use case for Technology One. It really gives us a great understanding of the opportunity. Wonderful to hear a new member of the Auscontact community and a new national silver sponsor being able to give back so wonderfully to our community. So with that, I thank everyone that's joined us today. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you might be, and see you soon. Bye.